Hey guys, this is Tom Ely with Eden Organic Garden. I'm back for part 2 of the Vermihut Plus 5 tray. And the last time I showed you guys how to set it up. I explained everything that went with it, and I explained the customer service of the company. And then at the very last, we talked about putting in the bedding. Um, and that's where we left off. And then I told you I would be back on part 2 to show you how to put the worms in and then also feed them. So right now I'm going to just open up the lid, show you what we've done so far. This right here, guys, this is the cocoa core with the shredded cardboard. I have 5 bins set up just like this here. Now I don't have it filled completely all the way up to the top. I didn't want to do that. But all 5 bins are embedded with cocoa core and shredded newspaper. And some people will only start with 1 bin or 2 bins. I did mention yesterday, excuse me, that when you feed your worms, you always feed from the top. You never feed from the bottom bins, always from the top. And the bin that's on the very, very, very bottom, okay, before you put the cocoa core and the newspaper in, you want to layer that bin with paper, just plain paper, nothing with ink on it, but paper, okay? And then you put the cocoa core, and then you put the shredded newspaper in, okay? This all needs to be done before you get your worms, okay? So I'm going to take off 4 of these trays, and I'm going to show you what the bottom tray looks like, and then we're going to go ahead and start adding our worms. Okay, so hang tight. There's 1. Okay, there's 2. There's 3. There's 4. And here's 5. Now, I want to show you something here. You would think, because this has dirt on the bottom. I mean, this has dirt inside, excuse me. This has dirt inside, that there would be dirt on the worm saver tray, but there's not. And so, let me just show you inside of here. Okay. If you look, I have paper, just regular printer paper. Doesn't have ink or anything like that at all. Okay, so I put paper on the bottom. Okay, and I'm just gonna level this back out. Okay, and what I'm gonna do here, guys, I do mine's a little bit different. Okay, I put a few worms in here, and maybe 1 piece of food. That's it. Okay, just to give the worms something. But this tray and the other 3 trays are going to be the inoculating tray. The top tray is going to be the feeding tray. Every 30 to 45 days, I will rotate the trays, putting this one on the top, and then rotating the next one down, the next one down, the next one down, and so on. Technically, in about 60 to 90 days, you should be able to start harvesting worm casting. Now, I just want to go over something that I mentioned in my first video. A lot of people only use cardboard, okay, and that's good. Cardboard's great, okay. I just didn't have the quick results that I wanted. My first homemade worm bin, I used cocoa core, maybe just a little bit of potting soil and shredded newspaper. And I generally got worm castings in about 60 to 90 days. And I mean, it was just solid black gold. And I found out with just shredded newspaper, it takes a little bit longer. Now, guys, I'm going to contradict what I just said. I had to go downstairs in the other Vermihut to pull worms out to put into my tray here. And the third tray down was mostly all worm casting. So I guess what I'm saying is if you want to use just shredded newspaper, it's fine. Make sure that if you have a shredder, shred the newspaper, shred cardboard, and soak it. Soak it really good, okay? And then squeeze it out. You only want maybe 2 or 3 drops. You don't want your bin slopping wet. Otherwise, your worms will die. They'll be trying to get out, and you don't want to have that, okay? But today, I'm trying something different because worms, they travel up and down. I'm just going to put a few worms in here in this bottom tray, just a few, maybe like 10, between 10 to 20. And I'm going to put one little piece of food in there. They'll be able to eat the cardboard and what have you. But this is going to be my bottom inoculating tray. So I'm going to go ahead and get started right now. Let me get some of the worms here. Hang on. If you look here, you'll see the worms. These are just some of them, guys, from my tray downstairs. Okay. And we'll just let them do their thing. Okay. And I'm going to put a little piece of food in here for these guys. Just a little bit. Let's see. This will be good enough. And when you feed these guys, you want to put it on the bottom. And you want to cover it. Just like that there. Okay? All right. And let me reach my other bucket. Let's see here. And then also, I like to feed my worms some grit. So I have eggshells. I have eggshells in here. Chicken food. Cornmeal. Everything's just been grounded. So they need this here, guys, so they can digest their food. They need some grit. Okay, so eggshells, cornmeal. I think I've got some wheatgrass in here that's been grinded, and then of course some chicken food that's been grinded. So all I do is I'll take a little bit. I'll sprinkle it over like this here. Not much. Okay. We'll set that to the side. And then, hang on, I'll take a little bit of coffee grounds. They love coffee grounds. Okay. All right. So that's it for that one, guys. That's my bottom inoculating tray. Now I'm going to put this one on here. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one that I did to the bottom. Just a few worms. Okay. So let me get over here to my worm bin and wow. Look at these. Look at all these worms. This is nothing, guys. These are probably some of the babies and things. All right. Again, I'm going to take a piece of food. Okay. Set it down on the bottom. I'm going to cover it up. They love watermelon. They love cantaloupe. They love fruit. They love apples. Okay. There's that. Let me take my grit. Don't pile it on. Just sprinkle it around. And these bins that I'm touching right here, I won't touch for probably at least 45 days. You know, maybe 60 days. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one here. Now, my bins are moist. They're not dry. They're moist. And that's what you want. They're not, look. I might be able to get a drop of water. Yeah, just a drop. But they're not sopping wet. And you can see I've got all the cardboard in here. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to take a handful here. You can see all the worms. Okay. Mostly all the worms are going to be in the top tray. And these guys will travel down, they'll travel up. Okay. I think I'm going to put another scoop in there. Got a lot of worms in these bins, guys, that I brought from upstairs. So I'm just pre-inoculating them, adding some worms to them. A lot of guys won't do this here. They'll leave the bottom 4 trays empty and let the worms go up and down. If you see some of this stuff right here, this is actually worm castings. Okay. One of my bins from downstairs was almost solid black gold. So that's what I'm saying, guys. If you want to use just shredded newspaper, you can. It's just going to take a little bit longer. I got my first worm bin on December the 17th. Okay, and that's when I got things set up. But I didn't get the worms for at least a couple of days. So let's say 5 days later. So probably by around Christmas, okay. Let's say that I had the worms in there. So by the 25th of December, my worm bin was set up. And one of the trays, the third tray down, was almost solid black gold, is what they call it, of worm castings. In probably about 30 more days, that bin will be ready to harvest. And when I went down there to get the worms out of there for you guys, I did add some cocoa core. I added cocoa core in with the shredded cardboard, which I believe it's going to speed it up. Anyway, we've got worms in here. Okay. Let me get one more here. Scoop. I want to just go ahead and get these in here. Hang on. Okay. Look at this here. Look at all these worms. And I still got thousands and thousands of more worms down below. So this will be enough for them to move around, do what they need to do. And there's some food that was in some of this bedding here. Okay, let me put some more food in here. And you can see I'm not feeding them a whole bunch of stuff because I want them to come up to the top bin. Okay, and you can put the grit on just like this here. I still sprinkle it around, but okay. This just gives them something to eat. All right, and then we're gonna cover it up just like this here. Okay. All right. So this one's almost ready. Let me put some more coffee grounds. Just a little bit. You don't have to cake it, but save your coffee grounds, tea bags. I've even seen people put toilet paper rolls in here and stuff. They love avocados. Okay, and but you'll have a list of things that you can feed them and not feed them. Okay, we've got, this is number 4. Okay, again, I'm fluffing it up. Okay. All right. Now, let me get some more. Okay. Again, this is from my worm bin. A lot of this has worm castings in it. Okay. All right. Let me put some more. Okay. All right. And I will, when it comes time to harvesting the worm castings, I'll probably take you to the bin downstairs, because I have a tray down there that's going to be ready pretty soon. You have to bait them. That's the easiest way of doing it. So, all right. Okay. All right. Again, I always kind of part this in the middle. I'm going to take some more food. These are some banana peels. All right. Cover it back up like so. All right. There we go. All right, let's put some more grit. Gotta, so they can help digest their food. All right. Just like that there. And let's go ahead and get some coffee grounds. Just a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Last tray, guys. Here we go. This is our last tray. I'm going to flip it up again. Okay. Just like that. I don't know what the weather is like where you're at, but we got sunshine today. They said next week is supposed to 70 degrees, and I love spring. Get a chance to put all my seed startlings in the ground with a little bit of worm composting in the holes. Just makes them grow a whole lot quicker. All right, guys, putting the last of the worms in here. Okay, let me you can see, look at all these worms. Good Lord. And I didn't even, the one that's downstairs, I mean, it barely got touched. I mean, with worms. I mean, I got worms all in here. Look at these. It's great. I'm telling you, again, when you grow food in the ground, fruit trees, you want to make sure you've got worms, guys. That's what God put them on this earth. Aerate it. They inoculate the dirt again. They bring the soil back to life, is what they do. All right, I'm scooping up the last here. Let me see. I want to make sure I got everything out of here. Let's see here. All right. I believe that is it. All right. Let me just let these guys move around. The worm bin downstairs, I had worm balls. I mean, God, just thick worm balls. All right. This, which is the top feeding tray. So from now on, when I feed my worms, I'm only going to feed from this tray. The other ones will come up and go down. Okay. So I'm going to feed this one really good, guys. This one's going to get a lot of food. And I know you guys said, you guys are looking at, do you feed them anything else but cantaloupe? My wife loves cantaloupe, guys. So I'm making use of it. And I'm not going to really overfeed them because this is the first time, even though that they were in my worm bin down below, they're, moving them to another bin there. I'm disrupting their lifestyle. Somebody from my church, they had some stuff that they juiced. So I'm going to put some of that stuff in there. All right. All right. And this will probably be good for, maybe a week, week and a half. Okay, let me put some grit on top for these guys. All right. Okay. And I think I'm going to put the coffee grounds, okay, also, just like that there. All right. And guys, when you feed them cantaloupe or watermelon, the rinds, don't be surprised if you come back in 2 or 3 days and they're gone. They love it. And just remember, whatever you feed your worms is what they're going to be pooping out. And that's what you want to go back into your garden. Okay. All right. We don't use chemicals here or anything like that at all. We're not into that. We're into organics. Okay. We want our worms to be healthy and to do their job. All right, guys. That's it. So I'm not going to put the lid on for at least, 24 to 48 hours. I want them to settle down. I've got a couple of lights, so I'm going to put some lights on here so that they make sure that they stay in the bin. And then after about 24 to 48 hours, I'll put the lid on and then I'll relocate this where this is going to go. This isn't going to go. I'm in my living room right now, guys, and this is not where this is going to go. But I just wanted to get this thing set up so you guys can see. Again, guys, worm composting is the best way. You're just going to get great production, great growth from whatever you're planting. I don't care if it's house plants, fruit trees, whatever. Worm composting is the best way to go. All right, guys. I hope that you took something from what I showed you. When it's ready to harvest worm castings, I will make another video. Other than that, happy composting. You guys have a blessed day. Tom Ely with Eden Organic Garden. I just wanted to show you guys the two Vermihuts that I have. And I've got the lights on them because I disrupted the one on the left where I pulled the worms out. And I don't want a lot of worms all up in my lid. And then the one on the right, that's the new one. So you can see I've got a light on them right there. A couple days I'll put the lid back on. But something I wanted to show you real quickly here. This is the third tray that was down. Look at the dirt, guys. It's mostly all black. Probably about 30 days, I'll probably be ready to harvest this here, and I'll do a video on this here. So, all right, guys. Again, I just wanted to add on to what I had done earlier. Oh, by the way, this here is you can use a newspaper. This is just a paper bag piece that I cut, and I wet it real good. So that sets that on top, keeps everything moist and everything. So, okay,